So continuing on here with Kant, and again, I don't think that this is too difficult of an argument to grasp, and I don't think it's all too complex of what Kant is saying, where he claims that our duties towards animals are merely indirect duties towards humanity, right? Um, and the fact that we indirectly do our duties towards humanity based off how we treat animals. Okay, that if I'm inclined to treat an animal poorly, if I'm going to be, if I'm going to be harming it, hurting it, then chances are I might justify, or I might, in my mind, um, think that it's okay to do that to non-human animals, right? And Kant goes on here at the bottom where he says, we can judge the heart of a human by his or her treatment of animals. So even in that, right? Even in that, again, it kind of just echoes this thought of kind of thinking about how one treats an animal might be reflective of how one treats other humans. So if we want to treat humans well, then we should treat animals well. Okay? And then Kant continues on 429. The more we come in contact with animals and observe their behavior, the more we love them, for we can see how great is their care for their young. Okay? And then he says, it is then difficult for us to be uh, cruel in thought, even to a wolf. Okay? Now I don't know if Kant means that 100%, 100%. But just again, this idea that when we see animals and how they kind of engage with their own offspring, again, maybe we can think about that and use those as ways of considering how we treat our own animals and our own members of our own family. Okay, so I mean that's Kant's argument. Like it really is only a page and a half. Okay, so it's not much there. It's just thinking about how we treat animals. Um, our duties towards animals are merely indirect duties towards humanity. Okay. This next article is going to be much more pointed and much more, I think, kind of lopsided, as it were, about really promoting a sense of ways of thinking about one's engagement with animals. And this is written by a guy named Peter Singer, and he's a big animal rights ethicist and activist. And he's a self-avowed utilitarian. Okay, so if we think back to utilitarianism right before spring break, that question about maximizing pleasure and minimizing pain, of doing the greatest good for the greatest number, we're going to see that theme play out here with Singer. Okay, and this title here is All Animals Are Equal. Okay, the introduction: Peter Singer is a contemporary Australian utilitarian philosopher, known for his uncompromising views on many issues of contemporary morality, such as animal liberation and the moral necessity to address global poverty. Okay, we're not going to be talking about global poverty right now, but we will be talking about animal liberation. And again, he's taking this utilitarian approach of thinking about pleasure and pain and taking on this approach of thinking about human beings inflicting pleasure and pain on, of course, he's concerned about the way that we treat one another, but how we treat animals, right? And so this is going to be the trajectory that he takes here. And so his thesis is on page 430. My aim is to advocate that we make this mental switch in respect for our attitudes and practices towards a very large group of beings, members of species other than our own, or as we popularly through misleading call them animals. In other words, I am urging that we extend to other species the basic principles of equality that most of us recognize should be extended to all members of our species. Okay? And so again, this is a very utilitarian approach. And if it is the case that even from the utilitarian framework, we are to treat others, with respect in the promotion of pleasure and the privation of pain, those are, again, two kind of categorizations of Mill, then we should extend that to animals. I am urging that we extend to other species the basic moral principle of equality that most of us recognize should be extended to all members of our own species. Okay? And so this is where he's going to take off, and we'll pick that up in the next article. Or, pardon me, the next video.